Okay, for today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different. Today, we're going to be looking at a tutorial and guide that I had made for this game called Light, which you can find on Steam, either the demo or a paid version. I highly recommend doing the demo at first so you can actually get a idea of how this game is supposed to work. Now, the developer said this is supposed to be a no-hint type game. It is very difficult, and it's a lot of trial and error. So I made a tutorial for helping out gamers who would like to know how to get through this game in certain parts. Now, hopefully they try the game for themselves, and if they're absolutely stuck in no other way of advancing through, that maybe this guide can help. Now, I am not one to make guides, so take this with a grain of salt, but this has just been my experience with this game so far. As I state in the beginning of the tutorial, I got stuck on a part, and I don't know if it's a glitch or a bug or I'm just doing something wrong, but this is just as far as I got in the game. So hopefully this helps. All right, here we are with the game called Light that is on Steam that came out not too long ago. And this is just going to be a quick guide or tutorial on my experience and how far I got in the game. And you'll see by the end where I got stuck. So this is chapter 1, which is the only one you can play right now. So here we are at the start of the game, and you can also change your view if you want third person or first person like this by hitting the tab button. So as we first go down this road, you're going to come across a mannequin either on the right side or the left side. In this case, it's on the right, and you'll also either make this mannequin disappear or you'll hear a can noise just like you heard. Then it'll disappear. Once you come across the phone, you'll have a mannequin either up there or over here, and sometimes it'll be behind you, which I'll show here in a second, right there. So you'll hear it disappear and make that giggle noise. The trash can on the right, ignore that completely. And then I've always kept my light on this porta potty. You'll hear it bang, and then you can keep going. Sometimes there's a mannequin in this area that you'll keep your light on. There's a hand that's going to be in the road. You can ignore that. And then also try to find a mannequin that's usually up on this waterfall area, or it's usually down here. And you'll keep your light on it like as I'm showing now, and you'll hear it go away with the giggling. Head on down the road. Now, there's a mannequin above that I have not figured out exactly if you make it disappear or not, if that makes a difference in the rest of the gameplay here. I have not found a difference. Here we come across a cone that we do a loop around, and to your right, you'll hear the ruffling of the leaves and a giggling. Now, moving ahead, you're going to come across this bus station, or like seating area as if it were for a bus station. Look to the left, it'll glitch, but then turn off your light and don't look around, just keep going down the road without your light on. So I left mine off every time going down this part. You'll hear a ruffle of leaves and a giggle, just ignore it, and then you come across this electrical box. It'll turn on all these lamps, as you can see, and you make your way down the road, and you'll see coming up on this next hill that to your right is a sign that has a like U-turn road sign, which is right here on your right. Now, I have not found any other mannequins in here. If you do go further up that way, that's the end of the map, and I have gone to that edge. I can't figure out anything, weird or like an anomaly over there or anything. So you turn around, you head back the way you came, and once you pass the bus stop again, there'll be the road sign with the arrow on it, and you'll hear a noise like a knocking. Now, I'm doing this with all uncuts so you can see that it's one run here. So here's the sign. You'll hear a knocking on your right. And you look around. I have not figured out where the exact trigger is yet. And you'll hear a ruffle. And of course the glitch will happen and you'll see that mannequin. Now this is the part where I have not figured out what to do. I've tried that mannequin that's hanging off the water tower. I've tried poofing him away. Not poofing him away. I cannot figure out this next part. I've left my light on. I've left it off. I've tried not looking. I've tried looking along the road as I pass through, and you'll see that all these mannequins pop up and the character just freezes. You can't move or anything. Now, if you see, I don't know if it's in this clip or the next one, that if you do leave your light on, you'll end up dying if you shine the light on the mannequin. And I haven't figured out how to get past this part. So there's a ruffle, heartbeats. I left my light on, and a mannequin pops up, and it kills you. Now we'll do the second run, and I'll show you a couple different things, I believe. Again, here's the start of the game. We go down the road. Mannequin's still going to be on the right. And this time, I believe it poofs away. It doesn't do the can noise. Yes, it does. So, like I was saying, each time you play this game, your mannequin's going to be in a different spot than if you completely back out of the game and reload the whole game. You're just going to have a different setup each time. Again, here, ignore the trash can. I've always looked at the porta potty like I'm showing now. It does the banging noise, and then I keep continuing down the road. Most of the time, their mannequins are going to be in the same spot. They just might trigger differently. Some of them will poof away. Some of them won't, but you'll be fine. There's the mannequin that's hanging up. I just made him poof away there. You heard the noise. Here again, I do this loop around this thing. Now, sometimes you won't hear the giggling, like I don't hear it this time. So that must not be part of this run as far as the trigger there, the mannequin poofing away. Again, this one has always been the same for me. Now, if you leave your flashlight on, there's actually blue mannequins that pop up. There's 2 of them. And you don't want to shine your light on them. If you do, then you're going to get killed and have to start over. Again, here's the electrical box. Turning that on. Now, if you don't turn that on, I found out that if you just keep walking forward, you get killed shortly after the electrical box. And again, in other runs that I have done, I have looked around the road edges into the forest to the right, and I cannot find any mannequins or any kind of other triggers. So here again, we're at the loop. If you keep walking forward, you will get killed. The only time you can go to the edge of that map, if you go all the way back as we're showing now, and that first mannequin you come to after the bus stop up here, if you then do that and then go all the way back, you can cross and get to the edge of the map, but nothing happens. Again, here's where the knocking happens. So here I try to turn my light off. And here there, I'm completely stuck right here. I can't move at all. And then once the glitching stops, I turn my light back on, and I don't even die. I can't do anything. Yep. Can't do anything. So that's been my experience so far with this game. I have not figured out this part yet, but maybe you guys can, and you can let me know in the comments below. Okay, so here is going to be a third run where a couple different things happen. So I may not talk as much in this one. So just skip ahead if you need to. Again here, don't look at the trash can. If you do interact with it, you will be killed and have to start over. I believe in this run I end up getting the mannequin by the waterfall. There it is right there. So there's been 3 places for this part for the mannequin. Just like the part by the phone will have 3 different spots where the mannequin has popped up. So there you heard that the ruffling and the giggles happen after going around that cone in the road. Remember here to keep your light off, and you'll hear the ruffling and the giggling as well. And that, to me, says you're clear to move on to the next segment. The only thing I have not tried is when you do the U-turn, is seeing if you can turn the electrical box back off as you pass through. I literally just thought of that as I'm recording this voiceover. Here I was just trying to look around again for any mannequin that may have triggered in a different spot. So everything here, I believe, is the same. Once you come up to that road sign and you hear the knocking and that mannequin shows up. After that, what I did was I kept my light off, and once I heard the ruffling to the right, I turned, and I believe I left my light off, but as soon as I turned it on, I died. I think that's what we're going to see here coming up. So here, yeah, I turned my light off. Ruffling. I left it off. As soon as I turned it on, I died. So, again, that's been my experience with this game. So hopefully you guys can figure out something and add it to the comments below. I appreciate it. And a lot of other players would too, I believe.